Okay, so today we are talking. Um, I titled this live, You're Not Avoiding Your Hair, You're Avoiding How It Makes You Feel. Okay, because I know that there are a lot of women that are dealing with hair loss that, for one, they can't figure out why. And for two, they've been told that it's not going to grow back. There are different types of medical issues, there are different types of medications, different diseases that affect our hair in such a way that it's next to impossible for it to grow back. Um, so I want to make sure we kind of talk about the identity of hair, and especially when we start to lose it. Okay. Because let's be honest, for a lot of women, hair loss doesn't just make us lose our hair. Okay. It makes us lose the connection with ourselves, right? We know this. Because when the hair that you used to know starts to change, it starts to thin, it starts to shed, it starts to break, it starts disappearing in certain areas. The mirror can start feeling like a place of confrontation instead of a place of connection, right? The mirror is where we go to connect with ourselves, to look at ourselves, to look at our hair or whatever we're doing. And after a while, we start avoiding it, right? We start avoiding not necessarily looking in the mirror, but we start avoiding handling our hair in certain ways. We avoid styling it. We avoid looking at it for too long. We avoid taking pictures. Um, we avoid the parts of our hair that remind us something has changed. Okay. So I want you to ask yourself this question, and you can answer it in the comments if you're comfortable. I want you to be honest with yourself. Have you ever looked in the mirror, saw your hair, and immediately looked away? Okay. Not because you didn't have time or any of that. You just didn't want to feel the feelings that came with looking at your hair. Okay. Um, the disappointment, the frustration, that little feeling or that little sting of what's happening, right? Where's this coming from? What's going on? Because hair loss and hair changes can do something to a woman that many times people don't understand, especially when we're hiding it and nobody else knows, right? Hair loss doesn't just change, again, doesn't just change your hair, it changes how we see ourselves. I don't think enough people are talking about that, to be honest, because people will tell us what oil to use. They'll tell us what shampoo to try. They'll tell us what styles to do, right? But they don't talk about what it feels like to look in the mirror and not fully recognize the woman that's looking back, right? Let me know if you can relate to that, okay? But because somewhere along the way, your hair became tied to your identity. That's fair, right? It became tied to your confidence, your your femininity, right? Your youth, how you show up in the world. Um, and when the hair that you used to know starts changing and doing all of the things, um, again, it does something to a certain part of us. And I typically sometimes call this the mirror effect, okay? And this is what happens when the hair changes. Your hair changing begins to affect the way that you see yourself, the way that you treat yourself, the way that you connect with yourself. I think this is an important conversation, okay? So let's talk a little bit about the psychology of self concept and appearance and all of the things when it comes to hair loss. Okay. But before we do that, if you're new here, my name is Kendra and I am the founder of 180 Hair and creator of Hair Rehab. I help women over 40 understand their hair by first understanding their body. Okay. Many times we don't have a hair problem, we have a clarity problem. We need to understand at this big age, we need to understand what our body is doing and how our hair is responding based on that. Okay. And when we don't, we start guessing. Okay. And that guessing is costing us time. That guessing is costing us money. The guessing is costing us progress. Okay. So I'm here to help you replace the guesswork. All right. So the psychology of the self concept, the appearance, and all of the things. So before we talk about, or we get into, the products and the routines and all of that, or what you should be doing to your hair, we need to talk about what may be happening inside of you when your hair starts changing. Okay. Again, hair loss is not just a scalp issue. It is an identity issue. Your brain does this thing, okay? It builds a picture of who you are, or who you are based on what you're used to seeing, right? What you're used to feeling, what you experience every day. That picture becomes a part of your self-concept. It becomes a part of who you are, how you see yourself. All right? This is basically the internal image that we carry of ourselves. It's the version of us that says, this is what I look like. This is how I show up. This is what makes me feel beautiful. This is how I recognize myself. Okay. And for many women, and I'm going to say especially Black women, the hair is deeply connected to that image. Hair can be tied to femininity, how it makes us feel as a woman. Hair can be tied to your beauty, your youth. Them grays start coming in. That's a visual representation, okay, of the ages, of the age going up, right? Our hair is tied to our culture. Why we have so many textures. Our hair is tied to our confidence, and it can even be tied to control. So when your hair is doing what you want it to do, it's looking good, it's cooperating, it's doing all the things, you move differently, right? You just get your hair done, or you get that wig cocked right, or you get that style that you love, or those braids or whatever. You walk different. You take the picture. You show up on camera. You run the errand without needing to give yourself a whole pep talk in the car first, right? But when your hair starts changing in a way that you didn't choose, your brain may start to struggle with what it sees. So that whole self-concept thing that we talk about, it starts to change, because you may look in the mirror and start thinking, well, damn, this don't look like me. This isn't how my hair used to be. Or I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with this version of myself. I don't know what to do with my hair when it's like this. And that's where the emotional weight comes from. Okay. It's not just that your hair changed. It's the image that you had of yourself got interrupted. Okay. And again, this goes back to what I said I call the mirror effect. All right. Again, when the physical change starts creating an emotional response every time you see yourself, every time you look in the mirror, you get an emotional something pops off emotionally. So now the mirror is not just showing you your hair. There's that confrontation again. It's showing you the gap between how you remember yourself, how you feel inside, and what you are currently seeing. They don't match. Okay? That gap can bring up things like grief and frustration and shame and confusion and even numbness sometimes. Okay? I think that some women just stop looking. Some at all, right? Some women only check the parts of their hair that they feel comfortable checking. Okay, you got that hair loss up in the top. You don't even look at it. You don't even deal with it. You know it's there. You avoid it, right? You avoid styling your hair altogether. I've talked to women that have severe matting because their hair loss, their hair issues got so bad they didn't even want to comb it, right? And of course they don't want to cut it because it's still tied to something, right? Sometimes women just tell themselves it is what it is. Even if you tell yourself that deep down, it probably still hurts. Okay? It probably still hurts. And I want you to understand something if you're listening. Okay? Hear me clearly. It doesn't mean you're vain. Don't let nobody tell you, oh, girl, it's just hair. It doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that you're being super dramatic. Okay? It just means that you are trying to adjust to a version of yourself that you did not ask for. I don't care what the reason is. You didn't ask for it. Nobody is walking around asking for their hair to fall out. Nobody is asking for medical issues that also lead to hair loss, medications that also lead to hair loss, stressful situations that also lead to hair loss. I've experienced all of those. Okay. I made a video on that explaining my hair loss journey. Okay. That adjustment, that change, it deserves compassion. So if you are watching and you are in that space, I want you to know that I have been there. Okay. I've been doing this work for over 10 years. I've met all types of Black women mostly that are dealing with still hair loss that they did not ask for, they cannot control. And it doesn't mean that they're hopeless. Okay. This is not a hopeless, helpless situation. Okay. It does mean though that we may have to go deeper. Okay. And we're going to talk about that too. So the next thing I want to talk about is the disconnection pattern. Okay. This is where a lot of women get stuck because the disconnection doesn't always happen loud. It's not always some big emotional breakdown in the bathroom mirror. Okay. Sometimes this disconnection is quiet. It can look like you just don't take time with your hair anymore. It looks like rushing through your wash day because you already feel defeated before you even started. You just rush through it. You just wash your hair because you know you ain't washed it. And it looks like wearing the same style over and over again because you just don't want to deal with what's underneath it. You didn't had that quick weave or that sew in for 6 months because you are afraid to see what has gotten worse. And you already knew it was worse when you got it, when you started. And you just don't want to deal with it. It could look like buying another product because you don't truly understand what your hair needs. And you're just hoping that something will finally fix it. Okay, I get it. When your hair is changing, it's easier to avoid it than to face it. Just like with a lot of problems. Just so happen I care a lot about hair. That's just my thing. But I could apply that to anything. Okay. We could apply that to a lot of different things. But in this instance, we're talking about hair. It can feel easier just to avoid it than to deal with it. Than to face it. Okay. Because dealing with it or facing it means that you also have to deal or face or feel what comes up. The frustration, the disappointment, the grief, the I don't even know where to start. I'm too ashamed to even go into a salon and tell them people to look at my hair. I'm too ashamed. I'm not about to go in there in front of all of them people. I'm not doing it. And that avoidance over time turns into a pattern. You just stop looking at your hair altogether. You just only check the problem areas and ignore the rest. You are irritated before you even touch it. Again, that's why we rush through those wash days. You just don't even enjoy the process of caring for your hair anymore just because now it doesn't feel like care anymore. It just feels like something is wrong and I don't know what to do about it. And that's heavy. Okay. Because when every wash day, every mirror check, right? Every picture, every time you try to style it and cover up that hair loss or cover up that spot or do something with those edges, the edges that aren't there anymore, it reminds you of what has changed. Okay. It's almost like we're no longer caring for our hair. We're managing disappointment. It's less about caring for your hair and it's more about managing disappointment, managing fear, managing the pressure to fix it before it gets worse or before anybody notices. And that's why this video, this conversation matters. That's why I said in the beginning, I wanted to slow this down because this is important because sometimes it's not just a routine that broke. or a product that stopped working. Sometimes it's the relationship between you and your hair, between you and your reflection, and sometimes even between who you are now and who you remember yourself to be. So, again, we have to be honest about what disconnected in the first place, because when I do one-on-one sessions with women where we talk about, their routines and different things that they need to use, I first need to understand what their relationship is with themselves before we even try to figure out or create or adjust a routine. Because if that relationship with yourself is messed up, is inconsistent, then you're not going to be invested enough to have patience enough to follow through. It's just what it is. Okay? So I am doing women a disservice if I don't understand a little bit about you and the connection that you have with yourself before we start talking about what product do I use, Kendra? What product do I use? Well, ma'am, first of all, let's talk about you. Tell me about your relationship with yourself, okay? And that can be uncomfortable. I am not a psychologist. I am not your therapist. There are certain questions that I could get answered just by having a conversation with women, okay? It's not mind games. It's not none of that. We just talk. And I listen to how you talk about your hair or whatever. And that's how I get information. Okay. If you're watching this video and you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. Okay. Thank you so much, Miss Pauline Hunt, for your comment. I see it. It says, greeting. I enjoyed your work and you're doing for women hair. I enjoy too. I appreciate you being here. I do this work because I actually really do love it. Most of the time when I get on here, I'm not promoting or marketing products, and I make natural hair products. That's the first thing I ever started doing. But most of the time, my desire is to make sure that I take care of you first, okay, before just throwing another product in your face. Anyway, next thing. Let's shift the way we look at things. Okay, let's kind of reframe this, because when your hair starts changing, yes, it feels personal. It can feel like your hair turned against you, like your body betrayed you, okay? Like one more thing you used to be able to count on, okay, is now acting brand new, right? And I understand why it feels this way, okay? But what if your hair didn't betray you? What if your hair is communicating? And those of you that have listened to any number of my videos know that that's one thing I say all the time. Your hair is a messenger. Your hair is always communicating, okay? Because your hair is not separate from your body. I say that a lot. Your scalp is not over there doing its own little performance in its own separate little stage. That was good. Your hair is connected to your stress, your hormones, your nutrition, your sleep, your circulation, your habits, your nervous system, your emotional load, your season of life. So when something shifts in your hair, it's not always that is punishment. Okay? It's feedback. It may be your body telling you, hey, something needs attention. It's just like driving your car and in the dashboard, the check engine light comes on. Okay? It's saying, hey, something needs attention. You might need to start taking me somewhere to get fixed, get looked at before it gets worse. Okay? And I know that doesn't feel comforting, right? Because we just want a quick fix. Dealing with the quick fix, expecting the quick fix to fix it is easier and less time than dealing with the deeper issue. We want the product. We want the oil. We want the shampoo. We want the magic combo. We want to tell me what to do so I can move on with my life. What to use so I can move on with my life. But healing asks for a relationship. It asks you to stop treating your hair like the enemy. Stop treating your hair like an enemy that you have to fight. Okay? Treat it like the messenger that you need to listen to. You don't need to fight your hair. You need to fight your body. You need to listen. You need to listen to it. Because if your hair is giving you information, then the goal is not to force it back like it used to be. That's one thing that I hear a lot. I just want my hair to be like it used to be. But guess what? The goal is to learn what this version of your hair is trying to show you now. Because what your hair used to be may be unrealistic, considering all of the things that you may be dealing with. That's the identity shift that I want us to make. And I understand that it'll take time, but I want you to start wrapping your mind around it. Instead of saying, I just want my old hair back, you say, I'm learning this version of my hair. And I'm learning this version of myself. And no, that doesn't mean you stop wanting growth. You can still be a product junkie. Okay? It doesn't mean you stop wanting you give up on your edges. It doesn't mean you give up on your thickness or your fullness or your confidence. Of course, we want those things. It just means we need to stop trying to heal from a place of rejection for our hair or our body or whatever is going on. Because you can't build any healthy relationship with anything if you speak to it like it disappointed you. I can't build a healthy relationship with my kids if I'm constantly talking to them like they're a disappointment. You can't build a healthy relationship with your boo, your spouse, your coworkers, if you're a boss, your team, if you speak to them like they are disappointing you only. At some point, we have to ask different questions. Not what's wrong, but what is it trying to tell me? Okay? So we can stop chasing results and just work on building trust. Okay? Again, if you're still here and you haven't hit the like button, please be sure to do so that this video can reach more people. And I will go back through this video and add timestamps for each section. So if you miss something, you can go back to it. Okay. So let's talk about some mirror healing. Okay. I want to give you something practical because I don't just want you sitting in your emotions. This has been a little bit, maybe for some, this has been a little bit of a heavy conversation. So I don't want to just leave you sitting in your emotions with no direction. Like, Kendra, you opened up this can of worms and now what? Right? Simple mirror practice. Stay with me. Okay. Before you roll your eyes at me and be like, girl, I came here for help, not homework. Hear me out. Because if the mirror has become the place where you criticize yourself, where you rush past yourself or avoid yourself altogether, then part of the healing has to happen there too. Not because there's magic in the mirror, okay? But because the mirror may be where the disconnection keeps repeating. Now, there are other areas, but we're talking about the self-concept, your self-image, before we can get to the nutrition, the ingredients, the habits, the mindset. We have to deal with us first, okay? So I want you to try this. Next time you're in front of the mirror, slow down. Don't immediately rush to start doing your hair. Don't let this be a day that you're not in a rush. Okay? Don't inspect all the thin spots and inspect your edges like you're looking for evidence from a crime scene. Okay? Just pause. Stand there for a little bit longer than usual and just observe. Notice what you feel. Do you feel sadness, frustration? Are you embarrassed? Are you angry? Are you mad? Do you feel nothing? Do you feel like just looking away? Whatever comes up, let it come up. Don't judge it. Just notice it, okay? Because sometimes we're so busy trying to fix the hair, we never pause long enough to hear what the heart is saying. That's important. It may sound crazy, but again, I've been doing this a long time. Your heart space. If you check my page, a lot of my quotes are mindset, heart space, because that's important in your hair journey too. I'm not a hair influencer. I don't come on here just talking about what ingredients and what products to use. I've done that. I don't I'm that's not my lane as much anymore, because I've seen the effects of how using the wrong products, following the wrong routines, not being in touch with your body first. I've seen the effects of that. Okay. So, and if you have a quiet moment, I want you to journal through a few questions. Okay. Just ask yourself, what do I feel when I look at my hair? What story have I been telling myself about my hair? All of those myths and this and that. What are those? When did I first start feeling disconnected from my hair? I first started feeling disconnected from my hair when I lost all of it from chemotherapy. That's my personal experience. Okay? That's when I started feeling disconnected. Because after the first treatment, my hair fell out the next day. Okay? After the first treatment, my hair fell out. Started falling out the next day. I think I had braids. The braids was coming out. So I just took it all down and shaved it. And by the following treatment, it was all gone. That was when I first started feeling disconnected. So, and also I want you to ask yourself, if your hair, if my hair is a messenger, what might it be asking for right now? I promise you, many of you, your hair is not asking for another product. Did y'all hear that? I guarantee you, your hair is not asking for another product. Your hair is not asking for another style for you to try to hide it. Those things are okay. I'm not saying don't buy products. Don't create styles that make you feel comfortable enough to present yourself to the world. Do that. But also, two things can be true at the same time. You can go in that store and buy all the products you want. You can create all the styles you want. But also, your body probably needs you to add some more hydration to it. Your body probably needs a little more circulation for you to move your body. Your body also probably needs some better nutrition. Care, support, patience, nourishment, attention. Asking you to be gentle. Asking you to stop ignoring your stress. Don't get me started about that. I created so many videos about how stress affects hair loss. Maybe it's asking you to look at your food, your sleep, your hormones, your scalp, the way you've been carrying everything and everybody and putting yourself last. But all you want is a product. But you're dealing with all of that. You're not eating good. You're not sleeping good. Your hormones is out of whack. You already know that, especially if you're over 50. Your scalp, you already know. You're doing everything for everybody else and putting yourself last. You think that doesn't affect your body and also your hair? So sit with that, okay? And take a small action, not a dramatic makeover, not a 10-step routine, just one small action that says, I'm reconnecting with myself. Whatever that means to you, I don't know. Maybe you style your hair gently instead of combing it and brushing it aggressively because you're mad. Maybe you massage your scalp while you're in the tub, while you're in the shower. Maybe you moisturize your hair. Speak life over it. Okay? Maybe you take a picture. Not to post, but to say, God dang, this don't. Maybe you take a picture, not to post, but just to document where you are with honesty and compassion. If you have to take a picture and it makes you cry, maybe that's something that needs to come out of you. I don't know. Maybe you just look at yourself and say, you know what, regardless, I'm still here. This is not, the goal of this is not perfection. It's just reconnection. Okay. Teaching yourself that you don't have to abandon yourself just because your hair is in transition. You can be honest about what changed and still treat yourself with care, because that is part of the healing too. All right. Again, if you're watching and you haven't hit that like button, please be sure to do so. If you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you. We're getting deeper into these conversations over here on this channel, okay? If you need help with what to do with your scalp health or moisture or understanding your porosity and products or ingredients to use, I have tons of videos on those things. Everything should be separated into playlists, nice and neat, okay? So you can find what you need. But these videos going forward are going to be a little bit deeper into what the body is doing. For those of you that have said in the past that you're tired of buying products and you don't know what the real issue is, these are the videos that you need to be watching. Okay? I'm trying to pull you away from so much products and get you connected back to yourself. Okay? Because I always say hair healing is not just about products. Products can support the journey. Products are supporting actors in the drama that is your hair. Products are supporting actors. Okay? They are not the main character. A routine supporting actor. Ingredients supporting actors. Okay? Turn my ringer down. Can't. So sorry, y'all. My daughter is texting me. I'm on live. She knows I'm live and I'm trying to turn my phone. Okay, there we go. Because she's not gonna stop texting me. All right. So yes, all of these things are supporting actors. Your products, the routine, the ingredients, all supporting actors. Scalp care, all these things matter. But if your hair is changing and the relationship with yourself is suffering, then we have to look deeper than what's sitting on your bathroom counter, what's sitting in your product cabinet, your product graveyard. We got to go deeper than that, because your hair journey is connected to how you think about yourself. It's connected to the habits that you practice when nobody is telling you what to do, nobody is watching. It's connected to how you feed your body, how you manage stress. It's connected to how you rest, respond, what your body is trying to show you. Okay? So I created this little program called Hair Rehab, where we don't just talk about the products. We talk about what is my hair showing me, what is my body asking for, what habits can support me, what's working against me, all of the things. Okay? Hair Rehab right now is a self-paced program where once you sign up, you'll receive emails weekly just kind of giving you information. But over this weekend, I decided that I'm going to make it a private group, a private membership. It'll be probably on YouTube, but it'll be a private membership. Okay? Because I think it would be more beneficial for us to walk through it together than for me to just be sending you emails every week. If that's something that you're interested in, please let me know in the comments. I put a poll also on the community page that basically asks the same question. You can go there and respond as well. The more people that respond to that, the quicker we can get that off the ground, and the more people that I know are interested, it'll definitely affect how I show up, how often I show up, in the information that I give you. I have a lot of information that is going to change how you see your hair, how you see your body, how you see yourself. I promise you that. Okay? Because you can buy every oil, every shampoo, every conditioner, every supplement, and every serum, edge growth oil on the shelf. But if you're struggling, or if you're approaching your hair from panic or shame or frustration and all of these things, then the journey is going to feel heavier than it needs to. You have to bring yourself back into the process and stop putting all of the heaviness, all of the weight on a product or somebody telling you what to use. Your mindset, habits, nutrition, nervous system, all of those things matter. Relationship with yourself matters. Again, the health of your hair is not separate from the health of the woman living underneath the hair. Okay? We understand that, and we stop chasing every promise. We stop treating every bad hair day like a personal failure. Stop seeing your hair as the enemy and becoming a partner, like I said before, a partnership in your own healing. That's the real work, not just growing hair. Growing hair is important, but rebuilding trust with your body and all of the things are more important. Okay. Whew. All right. So we're getting ready to wrap up, y'all. This was even heavy for me. Okay. But we gonna get through it. So if this hit you deeper than expected, if anything I said resonated with you, if anything made you want to almost click off this video because you like, girl, I don't want to, this is Monday, I didn't come here for this, then you need to pay attention to that. If you're watching this video now and you are a little bit triggered, good. Sometimes the things that make you emotional is the thing that needs care. Okay? Not judgment, not a panic purchase, not another night searching for how to grow my hair back fast. Y'all know that's one of the most searched queries on Google. One of the most searched, how to grow my hair back fast. Sometimes you don't need all of that. You just need care. And if you've been disconnected from your hair, your reflection, or even the woman you need to feel like, I invite you to consider being a part of the private group. Okay. Hair Rehab, again, currently exists as a self-paced, you get an email or some information every week that kind of guides you through the steps that I teach to understand your hair by understanding your body. And we go through these different elements in my signature method, the 180 method for hair health. Okay. I will still put the link to Hair Rehab as it currently is now. But again, if you are interested in being part of a private group of women that are dealing with the same issues, I invite you to consider joining that. Okay. These deeper conversations will still be part of my content here on the regular channel, but inside the membership, we will go deeper and you'll get to ask questions. You'll get to engage with each other. I have a lot of tools and resources available. I have some additional courses that are available for purchase, of course, because I put a lot of time and effort and research into my content. Of course, you know that I do make hair and scalp treatments. Those are still great. Again, products are still great. They're just not the main character. So if you need additional support in the form of products, those are available. Okay. So again, inside of Hair Rehab, we are rebuilding the relationship with your hair, your body, the mirror, all of the things that I talked about today. And remembering that The full picture of your hair is your mindset, your habits, your nutrition, your scalp care, your routine, and the emotional weight. I did I probably said this already, but a few weeks ago I did a women's conference. I spoke at a women's conference to women about hair health. At the end, a lady, she probably was early 60, mid 60s. I don't know. Age maybe doesn't matter. But she pulled me aside, got me out of the way of everybody else, and she grabbed my hand. That lady held my hand so tight. I could feel the emotion through her contact as she talked about how she had lost her hair in the top of her head. And because I think in the presentation, I talked about giving your hair a break, exposing your scalp to the sun, letting it get some sun and things like that. And as she held my hand, she said, I cannot leave my house without my wig. I will not. So she said, I appreciate everything you said and I'll do those things, but I can't just squeezing the life out of my hand. I cannot leave the house without my wig or without my hair covered up. And I said, you know what, ma'am? Let my hand go. And I understand. We still have to live in these bodies along with hair loss. So do what you have to do. But also, I always say this, two things can be true at the same time. You can be losing your hair in ways that's pissing you off. But also, you still have to go out in the world. But behind closed doors, we need to be focused on, okay, what can I do different? You don't need more random advice pulling you in 10 different directions. It's so much advice on the internet. It's hard to know who to believe and who not. I know that. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying, but pick a side. Pick someone who you can relate to and try to stay consistent with what they're showing you. If nobody if you're watching an influencer or somebody that's teaching hair health and they never talk about the internal health, you should stop listening to them immediately, especially if their advice isn't helping you. Especially if you're a woman over 50, over 60. Just because somebody has a certification degree, they still should give you the full picture. I want you to have discernment. If you don't get nothing else from me, I want you to have discernment. To know your hair well enough. That's what we teach in hair rehab. You learn your own hair. It's hundreds and thousands of y'all. Everybody's hair story is gonna be different. You just need to interpret yours. And that way, all of this internet advice that you just pointed out, Miss Pauline, you don't get pulled in 10 different directions because you already know what your scalp condition is. You know what your porosity is. You know the products that work best for your porosity. You know all about hair regrowth and specifically hair regrowth at your age. And you understand maintenance. And you have clarity on the mindset shift that needs to happen. So who gonna fool you? Not on my watch. If you following me, you will not get duped. That was one of the things I used to say. I used to say all the time, if you subscribe to what I teach, you will not get duped. You shouldn't. If you do, then you ain't been listening. You ain't been following instruction. You just absorbing information and putting nothing in practice, because everything I tell you is exactly how to learn your hair. So many women in the comments, and I get it all the time. Well, what about your hair? What's your hair? My job is to teach you about yours. I did my video with my hair story. You can go watch it. I didn't hide anything. I have nothing to hide. I've never said I have nothing to hide. I've spoke about my story. I've spoke about my hair journey. I talked about all the different ways that I lost my hair. My job is to teach you that everything you've gone through in your life, everything that you dealt with, everything that you eat, everything that you absorb, all the stress, all the sicknesses, all the medications, those are affecting your hair. So when you see certain routines and certain people talking about certain things, you already know that don't apply to you because you're not confused. The only reason you get pulled in so many different directions is because you don't have understanding. And it's not your fault. I'm not blaming you because companies' jobs in marketing is to get you to buy. Their job is to get you to believe that their products will solve your problem. Their job is to make money. So remember that. Even some of these new YouTubers and these, small businesses that are making oils and all of the wonderful things, their goal is to make money. My goal is to make money too. I ain't gonna act like I ain't trying to make money, girl. I got bills just like y'all. But the priority is not to make money. The priority is for you to know your hair so you don't get duped. Because everybody that shows up on camera with a pot full of oils and herbs simmering and infusing in it doesn't have your best interest in mind. Just because they know how to dump herbs in oil, you can do that. I can teach you how to do that yourself. You probably have herbs in your kitchen right now in your seasoning spice rack. You probably have dried herbs. And you probably got some avocado oil or some coconut oil or something. You can make your own concoction. And that probably sounds crazy, me telling you that, because I make, again, hair products. I'm just saying, know the intention of the people that you're buying from. What is their intention? Just to get your money? Or do they care about your hair health? Do they care about you knowing about your hair health? Because one thing y'all can't say about Kendra is she's just trying to take your money. They used to say that to me on Facebook. I used to be heavy on Facebook before I was on YouTube. And I did really well on Facebook a few years ago. And at that time, there were also a lot of women making and selling hair products. This is when it was really a thing, right? It was a newer thing. And many times women would say, oh, you just trying to make money. You just trying to get people money and scam and this and that. And I was like, what? But then once I saw the culture of how our own women, black women, were just making up these oils and herbs and selling them and didn't have good customer service, wasn't teaching women how to use the products, wasn't following up with women when the products didn't do what they thought it was going to do, wasn't following clear instructions, wasn't shipping products out when they said it was going to ship out, overcharging them, duplicate charges. So of course, it only takes one person to do it, then you think everybody is a scammer. So I got a lot of that. But it wasn't because of anything I was doing. It's just because so much information on the internet pulls you all over the place. And if you just enjoy buying oils and supporting small businesses, that's beautiful. Do that. But also, what is their intention? If you just buying something because you want to support somebody, then do that. But that don't mean you have to listen to everything they say if you know they don't have your intentions. You should be slowing down and understanding what your hair is showing you. Caring for yourself from the inside out. If you're ready to do the deeper work, make sure you hit the like button. You don't even have to say anything in the comments. I know that many times women dealing with hair loss want to remain anonymous. It's okay. But if you want to go deeper, hit the like button. Share this video. I give a lot of free information here on YouTube. A lot of people would charge you for a course or tell you to buy all their products. Look, I got all my products sitting here, and not one time did I say, go on my website and buy all my products. I'm still not going to say it. I'm just showing you I could be on here talking about my products all day, trying to get you to buy it. But what good is that doing you? The deeper work is what matters. Y'all show up, I'm going to get paid regardless. Just know that. My products pay my bills. I'm going to get paid regardless. But over here, this is where I teach you to understand your hair and to go deeper and do the work. Okay? If you're not ready to go deeper, it's fine. Everybody's not there yet. Okay? If you're not ready to go deeper, start here tonight when you get off this video, or before you go to bed, or before you take a shower. Stand in the mirror for 60 seconds longer than you normally would. Longer than you normally would. I'm getting tongue-tied. It's time to go. Stand in the mirror 60 seconds longer than you normally would and ask yourself, what part of me have I been avoiding because my hair changed? That answer might be the beginning of your next shift. What part of me have I been avoiding because my hair changed? Okay, my loves, I am going to get off of here. I have a ton of laundry to do because when I'm not teaching or being a business owner, I'm still just a lady with a house that has to clean up and do laundry and wash dishes and cook dinner. I still got to do normal stuff. Okay. I could actually sit here and teach and talk to y'all for hours, but y'all got to go too. Okay. Y'all get off these internets. Y'all get off these YouTubes and go find something in your refrigerator that would help you with your hair health. That's a challenge. Forget the mirror stuff. Do that too, but go in your refrigerator. If you're going to the store tonight, get you some good water. Splurge on the good water, not that purified bull crap. No purified water. Get you some good spring water, some good alkaline water. Get you some healthy fats, some avocado. Get you some protein, some good farm-raised eggs, range-free eggs or chicken. Don't get that cheap stuff. Splurge on that. Go for a little walk. Get you a few thousand steps in before you go to bed or after you eat dinner. Some of this stuff won't even cost you any money, and it still helps your body, which helps your hair. Okay? Okay. I always say this like 10 times. Okay, y'all, I'm about to go. And then I start talking something else, and then I can't. So I'm not going to do that tonight. If you're interested in hair rehab, or if you're interested in going deeper in your hair journey, make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you have questions, you can ask them in the comments. I usually come back to these videos and answer them in between doing all the other things that I'm doing and working on. Okay. Thank you all for sticking with me for as long as you did. This is a little bit of a longer video, and it's on purpose because, like I said in the beginning, I wanted to slow down because these next few topics are going to be a little bit deep. Okay. All right. So remember, as always, understanding your hair is not a luxury. It's your power. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.